Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Juice Squad. It is your boy Juice here, back with another banger. As always, guys, at the time of recording, it is 9/9/2022, or rather, Friday, 2 days before week 1 of NFL football officially kicks off. And over the next 2 days, I'm going to be uploading 6 to 8 videos about my preseason predictions, about what players to invest in, what players to stay away from, what teams are going to turn up, what teams are going to suck, and so on and so forth. If you guys are new to the channel, this channel is going to be all about sports talk and the hobby that we all know and love. So if you guys want to talk sports, if you guys want to talk football, who's going to be good, who's going to be bad, who's going to the Super Bowl, who's going to be a bust, who's going to be a choke, this is the place for you. If you guys want to talk about the hobby that we all know and love, if you guys want to talk about what players are going to do really good investment-wise, because they don't always go together, right? Like a player that you really like that's going to do really good in the NFL season might not be the same player that does great in investment-wise. That's what we're all here for. So if that interests you, please consider liking and subscribing down below. But let's hop into today's video. All right, Juice Squad. In today's video, we're going to be going over the top 5 players to invest in before the start of the season. Now, to be clear, these are not long-term investments. These are not players that you're going to buy now and hold for 5, 10, 15 years, and they're going to make you a lot of money. That video is coming up on the channel soon. But in today's video, we're talking about if you were to buy a player right now on 9/9/2022, and when the season ends in February, or even when the playoffs end, or when the playoffs start, that you are going to be doubling, tripling, or 4, 5, 15xing your money. These are players that you buy right now, and by the end of this season, you are going to be making a return on investment, right? So now that we're clear with that, because I already know I'm going to get certain comments about things, we're going to be basing this off of 5 principles, okay? So we're going to be basing the player off of these 5 principles. Principle number 1, their team's build-up. A lot of people like investing in young quarterbacks, and I think quarterbacks are the way to go, and these young quarterbacks are amazing. But there are some of them that are part of really bad buildups. The Justin Fields, the Trevor Lawrences as of right now, right? These are amazing athletes. Mac Jones, amazing athletes, just in bad team organizations for right now, right? So a team buildup is going to affect it. Current market value is the second one. If I see a comment about Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow, guys, they're not going to be on this list, because you have to realize that Joe Burrow just went to the Super Bowl. His cards are at a very high premium right now. For his card to go up in value, he needs to go back to the Super Bowl and win. That is putting too much pressure on him. That's not going to give you a lot of return on investment unless he does a perfect season, right? And the same thing for Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert didn't reach the playoffs last year, but he did so good statistically and people love him. And I think that Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert are amazing long-term investments. If you were to buy them now and hold them for 10, 15 years, I definitely think they're going to be the Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady of this generation. 2 amazing Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I think that they're going to be amazing. But for the season coming up, for Justin Herbert's cards to go up, Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow sell for the same. Joe Burrow made it to a Super Bowl last year. Justin Herbert didn't make the playoffs. Yet their cards are selling the same. If not, Justin Herbert's cards are a little bit more expensive. So for this upcoming season, for Justin Herbert's cards to go up, he's going to need to win MVP or a Super Bowl. It's not the most ideal. There's 5 players better to put in that situation, right? Number 3, schedule. There's 2 or 3 players on this list that benefit from such an easy schedule that they don't really need to be the truth. Remember, we're not long-term investors. This is return on investment this year. Number 4, profit margin. Like I explained with Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. For them to increase money right now, they would need to go to the Super Bowl. That's profit margin. And I wouldn't even go up much. But there's players that are unproven that if they were to even go to the playoffs, their cards will 5x, 6x, 10x. So that's what I mean by profit margin. And finally is situation, which is similar to team buildup, but situation is like a mix of everything. Now we got that cleared, let's go straight into it. So this is a top 5 list, but there was a lot of athletes that I really like. So these are my honorable mentions. I have 4 honorable mentions. Not all of them are quarterbacks. Let's start with Baker Mayfield being the first honorable mention. I really like Baker. I think that Baker is definitely the type of athlete that carries energy to an organization, especially how Cleveland did him with the whole Deshaun Watson situation with the Panthers versus the Browns week 1. I definitely think that he doesn't need to do great for his cards to go up. I think people will buy him just off of his energy and just how he carries himself. Because Baker's been like that since Oklahoma, right? So he has this like natural energy to him. Last year he was hurt. He was playing through the injury. Cleveland did him dirty. I just think him with the Panthers, it's not going to be the most return on investment, but you definitely will see some money as long as Baker does at least half decent. Honorable mention number 2 is going to be Jameis Winston. And you guys are like, why are you saying Jameis Winston? I think the Saints, they are an amazing team. I think that they're a sleeper team, right? I think that Jameis Winston has the weapons around him. Michael Thomas is back. Chris Olave is back in the building. I think that there's a lot that can happen. The NFC is the weaker side of the NFL this year, right? AFC is completely stacked, and the NFC, there's ways to scratch into the playoffs. And I think if Jameis can get the Saints to a playoff appearance, which they almost did last year, and if the 49ers didn't win that crazy game, the Saints make it in, I definitely think that Jameis Winston's cards can go up. Honorable mention number 3 is going to be Justin Jefferson. The Vikings, again, are another team that I think are an insanely good team. Last year, they had like a crazy stat of if the game ended like 2 minutes before or something like that, that they would be like 15-1, 14-2. I don't know the exact validity of that stat, but Justin Jefferson all around is a dog. And after seeing what Cooper Kupp did last year, I definitely think that with the new head coach, that Justin Jefferson is going to be getting more touches and that he's just going to turn up. And the final honorable mention is going to be George Pickens. I'm a Georgia fan, and I can tell you guys that this dude is an absolute dog. Mitch Trubisky is going to be at quarterback, but I think the Steelers are not really a sleeper team. I don't see them doing much, but I do see George Pickens just from energy. That you have to realize that, guys, the cards that go up in value are the players that people like, right? Like, people are going to like Baker Mayfield, so his cards are going to go up in value, right? Because people are going to want to buy him. When George Pickens starts giving that Antonio Brown energy, people are going to want to buy him. So that's more of like a iffy one. But now let's start our top 5. Okay, guys, at number 5, and I feel like such a hypocrite for saying this, because for the exact same reasons why I left Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert off the list, I kind of threw him on here. But you guys will understand. So at the time of recording, it is Friday. Thursday night football just passed. And if you know where I'm going with this, we saw a man play yesterday that was a bad man. And that man is Josh Allen at number 5. He went absolutely crazy yesterday. He went 26 for 31 and 300 yards. He had a perfect passer rating against Jalen Ramsey. And I think Josh Allen is going to be the truth this year. The Bills are a Super Bowl favorite. And the storyline with the Bills has always been coming up short against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But this year, the Chiefs are depleted. I definitely don't think the Chiefs are going to have the same energy that they've had these past few years. Are the Chiefs still going to be the Chiefs? Yes. But I think the Bills are just a better team. Besides that, they're in a weak division. The Pats are not that good. The Jets could be really good in the next few years, but as of right now, they're not. Their biggest enemy is the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are unproven with Tua, right? They have weapons everywhere. Devin Singletary is a dog. If you guys saw him at FAU, he was breaking records left and right. There's Stephon Diggs, who yesterday was going after Jalen Ramsey every single play, and this man Diggs was winning. Like Ramsey was his son. They went after the number 1 corner in the league and told him, you are not going to guard me. Gabriel Davis stepped up. And on the defensive end, Von Miller, Micah Hyde, Tremaine Edmonds. They just have a really stacked squad. A pretty 50-50 schedule, right? I think that Josh Allen, and this is the only one that's like I'm a hypocrite for, but I feel like I'd be wrong if I didn't tell you guys not to invest in Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen short-term and long-term is going to do really good. Number 4 is going to be my man, Russell Wilson. So with last year, the Los Angeles Rams picked up Matthew Stafford, a vet that has a few more years left. We knew he was like that in Detroit, and we always said that if Matthew Stafford was not in Detroit, this man would have a ring, and long and behold, that's exactly what happened. So the Denver Broncos took note of that and picked up their superstar vet with a few more solid years. And I think Denver is always in the conversation of their quarterback away. Well, I definitely think that they got their quarterback. They have 2 nice wide receivers in Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. They have Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon in the running back room. I don't think if you guys didn't play high school football or watch college football, Jerry Jeudy was a problem. Jerry Jeudy still is a problem. If he did not have Teddy Bridgewater throwing him the ball, Jerry Jeudy and these Bama receivers go crazy, right? And then we have on the defensive side, they have Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb on the line. They have Patrick Surtain, Ronald Darby in the secondary, and Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons at the safety. Guys, I think that Russell Wilson just needs to make the playoffs for his Cards to go up. I don't think the Broncos win their division because they are part of that very, very, very stacked AFC West. But with Russell Wilson, with the Broncos being as mediocre as they've been the past few years, I definitely think that all Russell Wilson needs to do is make it to the playoffs, and his Cards are going to 2x, 3x in value. If they can go further, that X is going to get higher, but I definitely think the second they make the playoffs, his Cards 2x, 3x in value. And it's crazy to me how these young quarterbacks who are unproven, his Cards are more expensive than Russell Wilson, who has like, I think 1 to 3 championships under his belt already. Absolutely absurd. At number 3, this is where things start getting a little spicy. So like I said, the unproven players are going to be the ones that are going to give you your biggest return on investment, because not a lot of people are throwing money at them because they don't know if they're going to be good enough, right? So at number 3, we have Tua Tagovailoa, and guys, I know a lot of people are 50-50 on him. He's either hated or loved. There's not really an in-between going on. But I think Tua's squad, I think the Dolphins have put too many weapons around Tua for it not to work, right? So Tua has now Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Mike Gesicki. These are 3 outstanding weapons at the wide receiver. They have 2 very solid running backs in Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert. And their O-line was absolutely horrendous last year, but they buffed it up in Teron Armstead and Connor Williams. The defense didn't really change that much, but the defense has always been very solid in Miami. Last year, I think the defense ranked at least top 10, top 15 in the league. They're a very solid defense, and I think with Tua having these weapons and a better line, his ability to stay in the pocket and throw the ball is just going to become much better. And this is another circumstance of if Tua makes the playoffs, his Cards are going to 5x, his Cards are going to 10x. Because all you need to do, if Tua makes the playoffs, it shows that 1, the Dolphins are going to keep Tua. 2, they're just going to keep building around him and making this super team even more super that a Dolphins dynasty can possibly form. Is it possible? Yes, I do think Tua is good. I think that Tua has the weapons, he has the skill, he has the mindset. He just needs to get it done. It's that simple. Let's move on to number 2. We're on to number 2, and I just want to say before we get into it that number 2 and number 1 was really hard for me to figure out which one was better, right? Because I think both are amazing players in amazing situations in amazing organizations, but it leaned towards number 1 just because of one thing that we'll get into. But either one is going to give you a great return on investment. I think that these 2 players, if you were to put your money into them, that they're definitely going to be paying you back this season. But without further ado, at number 2, we have the Trey Lance for the San Francisco 49ers. You guys might be wondering, why do you have Trey Lance at number 2? He's unproven. He did terrible last season when he started. Well, that's because all the reps went to Jimmy G. And here's the way I'm looking at it. He has way too many pieces to fail. Trey Lance right now is in a Kyle Shanahan offense. And if you guys watch football, you know that Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coaches in the NFL, and he's a true offensive mastermind, right? Kyle Shanahan's offense is very easy for quarterbacks. It's a bunch of dink and dunks. It's a bunch of motions. It's a bunch of moving pieces that just work. Let's talk about the pieces that Trey Lance has. Trey Lance has George Kittle, arguably a top 2 tight end. Some people have him at the 1 over Travis Kelce. Some people have him at the 2. Regardless, George Kittle is a specimen. They have Deebo Samuel. I think the number 1 just all-around versatile player. I think it's up between him and Tyreek Hill. They have Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell. The defense is stacked and led by Nick Bosa, one of the best defensive lines in the league. Trey Lance is in a position where they have a really easy offense to run, amazing players around him. It's just, I feel like it's too good for it not to work. A lot of people think that Jimmy G is really bad, right? A lot of people think that Jimmy G is a subpar quarterback. But Jimmy G in this same offense took the 49ers to a Super Bowl a few years ago and took them to the playoffs this year, to the 2nd round. So if you think that Jimmy G is garbage or even just subpar or an average quarterback, and you think Trey Lance has any amount of talent, if they're both put in the same situation, in the same offensive scheme with the same players, and Trey Lance has the ability to run and push the football down the field, Trey Lance should be able to mimic the exact same results or do better. So if the exact same results are going to be a playoff appearance or a second round to third round playoff appearance, that's going to 5x, triple X, like it's going to go crazy on his value. At the end of the day, Trey Lance is an unproven quarterback, and not a lot of people have thrown their money at him because they don't know what he's going to do yet, right? The second Trey Lance touches the playoffs, his cards are going to double, triple, quadruple, 10x. Like, his cards are going to skyrocket the second he touches the playoffs. If you guys think that Jimmy G is average, below average, a little bit above average, and you think that Trey Lance has skill or is better than Jimmy G, if you put him inside this easy offense with these weapons around him, he is going to succeed. And there might be something really, really scary in San Francisco. That is why Trey Lance is at my number 2. Let's roll into number 1. All right, guys, we have made it to the end of the list. If you have stuck around this far, I just want to thank you so much. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content. And let me know in the comments, who did I leave off this list? Who do you feel is a really, 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 really good investment going into the season? Who do you think is going to be a great short-term investment? And what team do you think is going to take it all this year? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to be talking back to you guys, and we might make it a video. Just let me know. But let's hop into number 1. So at number 1, it wasn't biased. I have the jersey on. It's my man, the Philadelphia Eagle, Jalen Hurts. And before you guys get your little fingers ready talking about I'm biased or why do you have Jalen Hurts over all the other quarterbacks named, it's very, very simple. This offseason, 2 teams built around their quarterback, the Dolphins and the Eagles. Howie Roseman, the GM, filled every single spot that the Eagles are struggling in perfectly. So for starters, let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. Last year, the Eagles had the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. We had no receivers. We had Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, and that is it. In the offseason, we picked up a star number 1 receiver, A.J. Brown, to complement Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert is a top 5 tight end in my opinion. If not, you can put him at number 6 or 7. Devontae Smith is the only wide receiver in history to win the Heisman. Devontae Smith is like that, and people are sleeping on him. I think Devontae Smith is going to have a Jamar Chase type of year. He's going to blow up. He's going to have A.J. Brown across the field, so he won't be covered by the number 1 corner all the time. And he is going to absolutely blow up. We have Quez Watkins, who most of you guys don't even know about, but he is going to be like that. The Eagles have a top 5 O-line in the league and the number 1 rushing attack in the league. So if Jalen Hurts can get his crap together and just be a solid quarterback, we made the playoffs last year, but if he can just be a solid quarterback, I think we succeed heavily. The defense got bolstered up crazy. Every single hole that we had got taken care of. At the cornerback position, we have Darius Slay and James Bradbury. His safety got filled up with a steal in C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Saints. I have no idea what the Saints were thinking with that. They are crazy. We got him for a bag of chips. Safety got filled. D-line has never looked more dangerous. The Eagles have always had a dangerous D-line with Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, and now we have the first-round draft pick in Jordan Davis out of the University of Georgia. That man is a specimen. If you guys have seen him, if you guys have watched football, you guys know that he is different, and he is going to be the leader of that defensive line very soon. And the linebacker core improved as well. We got that crazy trade with Hassan Reddick. We stole him from the Colts. And then the steal of the draft, in my opinion, was Nakobe Dean, the leader, the captain linebacker of the University of Georgia when they won the Natty. That crazy defense, that historic defense, this was their leader. But because he got hurt, he fell in the draft, and the Eagles picked him up. The organization right now is for Hurts to lose. But now I just gave you guys the same information I gave about the other people. Well, why does this make the Eagles or Jalen Hurts a better investment than Trey Lance? And it's as simple as this, guys. The reason why I have Jalen Hurts and the Eagles as the number 1 investment leading into the season is that the Eagles have the 3rd easiest schedule in the NFL. Remember, schedule matters. If you're a above average team versus a bunch of bottom 5 teams, it doesn't matter if you think that Jalen Hurts is the truth or not. It doesn't matter if you think that Jalen Hurts is going to be a great quarterback. It doesn't matter if you think that Jalen Hurts is not going to be in the NFL in the next year or 2. What matters is he has all the weapons, an amazing O-line, a top 10 defense, and he is versing bottom 5 teams. Let's look at the schedule, guys. We're at the Lions. The Vikings are going to be a good game. The Commanders don't have it together. The Jaguars don't have it together. The Cardinals have Kyler Murray on this film watching contract, and DeAndre Hopkins aren't going to be there. Cowboys are okay. Steelers are not together. The Texans are not together. The Commanders are not together. Then these next 3 weeks are going to be a little hard. The Giants are not together. The Bears are not together. The Cowboys, the Saints, the Giants. I'm seeing 5 to 6 teams that actually are going to have above a 500 record. The NFL had them at the 3rd easiest schedule to be played. So whether you guys believe in Hurts himself is up to you. But he has the pieces. I think Hurts is going to be an amazing, amazing athlete. And I think that the team is just built all around him. I don't think there's a hole in this team. I think that they're going to be great. Let me know in the comments if you guys disagree with me. We can talk about it anytime. Follow me on Instagram at VintageJuice. DM me, and maybe you're going to be showing up in a video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out all the other videos. God first, God bless as always, and peace out, Juice Squad.